तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सागणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरदुषे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते सप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते सुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते देवाय नारायणं स्मृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। Pranaya Bhakt. I don't know whether other devotees are going to join or not. But anyway, we continue our discussion. Mm. We'll just see the summary and we'll come back. So we are seeing the fourth canto, 24th chapter, where especially Rudra Gita is explained. So in this chapter, we are seeing Lord Shiva glorifying the Supreme Lord. We have seen till 53 verses, the glorification of the Supreme Lord by Lord Shiva. Okay, we'll just see the which portion. Basically, main theme is that how Lord Shiva offered prayers, Bhuta Shuddhi, and then he's meditating on the Lord. And especially the focus was the beauty of the Lord. He was meditating on the beauty of the Lord, the form of the Lord. And then he comes to glorify the Lord in more generic way. Specifically, he glorified the form of the Lord till 53 verses. We covered, I think, around 53. So we'll continue from 53, we'll see just, and then we'll go to from 54. So after Bhuta Shuddhi prayers, purifying oneself, one enters into the altar of seeing the form of the Lord. So after describing various charming beauty of the Lord, different limbs of the Lord in different ways. Form of the Lord is glorified, and then now is coming to glorify the Supreme Lord also, the Bhakti also, and various aspects related to Lord, especially. Various aspects related to how Lord manifests in this world. The Supreme Lord, who is there in the spiritual world with unlimited beauty. Of course, when he comes here also, he exhibits that kind of unparalleled beauty to attract all the living entities. So as we are celebrating, going to celebrate Navavar Purnima, Navagauravaram, Navapushpasharam, Navabhavadharam, Dasyakaram. So, how is ever fresh, Cupid. So he's always ever fresh. The Supreme Lord is ever fresh, ever manifesting newer and newer mellows in terms of various things to attract all the living entities. That aspect is mentioned, glorified, and now how he also manifests in different things in this world, that is mentioned, and basically how we can connect to the Lord in this world also. One may say that I am unable to see the beautiful form of the Lord. Maybe all the attractive pure devotees only can see the all attractive beauty of the Lord, Akilira Samartha Murti, who is manifesting Sachidananda Swarupa. We cannot access in the conditioned stage. But Siddha Purushas or Raganuga Bhaktas at the Prema level, Bhava and Prema, especially on Prema level, they can access the the transcendental beauty, Nama Rupa Kundalila, in truth. Then if one asks, what about the living entities? How we can access the Lord or pray to the Lord? In that way, Lord Shiva mentions how he manifests in different ways in this universe also. So at least we can remember that as well as the Lord's expansions, Brahman, Virat Rupa, the Jivas also. We are also part and parcel of the Lord. So by seeing the living entities' conditions, different conditions, suffering, enjoyment, hankering for enjoyment, these are all manifestations of the Supreme Lord in Vivinnamsha, the expanded part and parcels. By seeing others also how they are hankering for happiness, that also can remind the Supreme Lord's position, because they are all in connection with the Lord. They are part and parcel of the Lord. That's why they are hankering for happiness. That is mentioned here from almost 60 to 68. So we'll try to see this section from 50, almost 53, 52 to 68. And if possible, tomorrow we'll cover maybe 10 verses, 69 to last, Falashruti, how to chant and Falashruti. Maybe 45 minutes to 1 hour tomorrow, because today is already 3 o'clock. So, but this section, especially this section is more, Prabhupada writes more according to sadhaka level, how we can more relate. Definitely the beauty of the Lord definitely is there. Last Saturday we read different limbs of the Lord, how one can take darshan of the Lord. One should be absorbed. The chitta has to be absorbed in the beauty of the Lord. Chitta has to be absorbed in Chaitanya. Then it becomes purified. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So that is that we have seen. So we will continue from 52 to mostly 68 today. So, but the purports are very, very beautiful. So, yeah, these are all different elements we have seen purifying just by remembering them. Of course, those who are doing deity worship, those who are Brahman initiated, they 24 achaman they do. Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Niruddha, Purushottama, they keep on remembering different forms of the Lord. So in that way, in that way also they can remember all these personalities. Bhuta Shuddhi happens. Pradyumna, Niruddha, Sankarshan, especially. So then we have seen that particular form of the Lord. How beauty of the Lord is Sarva Saundarya Sangraham, the essence of all beauty, the sum total of all the beauty. the Supreme Lord. We have seen all these verses. The Lord's ever increasing beauty, the shoulders and the chest, navel, lower body. And the lotus feet also has glorified. How lotus feet, Prabhupada's such an amazing purport to that lotus feet. First two cantos, focus on first two cantos. So lotus feet, because immediately we cannot experience the transcendental beauty. And also, first two can basically the Bhagavatam is the means to come to that level of 10th canto, the beauty of the Lord. Start from the first two cantos, understanding and assimilating. So, result of this meditation, I think we'll start with Itadrupam Anudhyayam. What will happen? So that is mentioned here, 53. What is the result of that meditation? And then the bhakti is the top of bhakti is glorified. How Supreme Lord is obtainable only by bhakti, the rarity of bhakti. Then some other aspects, how Krishna manifests in this world in different ways. He manifests as a time, and the power of devotees association, how time cannot touch the devotees, especially. So how value of the association of the devotees again here. That is only real mercy of the Lord, association of devotees. So devotee is agitated and absorbed. He is not touched by time, basically. Ayurharati Vaibhamsan Mudyan Nastam Chayannaso Tasyarte Yat Shunonita Uttam Shloka Vartaya. So the time cannot touch devotees, cannot destroy. So that protection will be given by the association of devotees. So here Lord Shiva also teaching us how the importance of association of devotees. Association is he is also hankering after devotees association. So this is one of the famous verses. Tulayama lavenapi naswargam na punarbhavam. Same verse, but the first line is a little different. Kshanena kshanardhenapi. There it's tulayama lavenapi. Lave, lava is used. Here kshana is used. Some time, different the calculations of time, lava, kshana, muhurta, etc. Kshana is kshanardhenapi. Tulaye, naswargam napunaro. Same meaning. So then in relation to the Lord and other things as mentioned, as I mentioned, how Lord manifests as a Brahman, as a Maya Shakti, as a Jivas, as a universal form, as a Mahavishnu, as Paramatma, as a time factor, who cannot worship. There's a gradual progress also. See, the topmost is the beauty of the Lord, Bhagavan feature, then Brahman feature, and Paramatma feature. And if one is unable to be at the transcendental stage of all this, at least one will see him in a time factor as destroyed by a destroyer of everything. Kalosmi, Lokakshaya Krit, I will destroy in the form of time. So everybody is watching Krishna. Everybody is looking for Krishna. But unfortunately, we are unable to see the real nature of Krishna. The transcendental sweetness of Krishna can only be experienced when we start practicing bhakti. Otherwise, we will also experience Krishna, but in a different forms. But there is no question of not associating with Krishna, but in a different forms, because he is only expanding everywhere. So that is mentioned by Lord Shiva, the time factor, how it destroys everything, especially the living entities who are absorbed in a materialistic way without connecting to the Lord. That's mentioned. That's why he says that's why one should take up Vata Bhakti. Even Brahma and 14 Manus, they worship the Supreme Lord. Who an intelligent person would reject? So that kind of a rhetorical question he asks. That means we should take up the Vata Bhakti. Everyone should take up Vata Bhakti. So that is actually the goal of wise. That's what he mentions, and then summarizes the whole his Stuti. So let us see the main text and what Prabhupada is trying to give us from these verses. So mainly basically Rudra Gita, the for 24th chapter Rudra Gita is happening by seeing the determination of Prachetas. Lord Shiva manifested himself and seeing the determination to worship the Lord, not just determination. People have determination to continue their sense gratification. That doesn't mean that devotees will try to give them mercy. Of course, devotees are always merciful. But still, because Lord Shiva saw the determination to worship the Lord. So that's how that's how he came. That's how he came to 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 give them mercy, Prachetas. And then he's glorifying the Lord in his prayer. We have seen the 52. I'm just trying to show that how Lord Shiva coming to the last point of lotus feet, glorifying the lotus feet. Pada Sharad Padma Palasa Rodsha. So the glory of the lotus feet is mentioned here. Now he wants to see the lotus feet is the ultimate essence. Everyone has to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, especially devotees. But Prabhupada's amazing purport, as we read, first two cantos are lotus feet. So the first and second cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam are called two lotus feet of the Lord. It is therefore suggested by Lord Shiva that one should first try to see the lotus feet of the Lord. So this also means that if one is serious about reading Srimad Bhagavatam, he must begin by seriously studying first two cantos. So the beauty of the Lord, if you want to experience, we need to slowly go ahead, understanding the nature of the Lord by studying the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavat Padagiya Bhagavat Sthane. So in Parampara, we are associating with Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada's causeless mercy on all of us. He wrote all these purports. I mean, great sacrifice, and with whatever circumstances are going on around in the world, preaching, establishing temples, constructions, so many issues, problems, and challenges, threats, life threats. Out of all things, Prabhupada gave these purports. That's an amazing aspect we can try to contemplate. Those surrounding things are very disturbing, but he was not hesitated in any way, but his purports will flow, the continuity. So that's the beauty of acharyas. Even our acharyas, we can see, though the surrounding was Muslims country, Muslim, I mean, all the uh, opposing parties are surrounded. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time also, even in Acharya's time, Shad Goswami's time, everywhere the Mughal rule was going on. Practically next to Agra, see, next to Vrindavan, there was Agra. And everywhere these people are there. And almost many times there was a fear of attack. But still, we don't see that kind of fear inflowing into their writings. Rather, they are always joyous to glorify the Lord and take shelter of the Lord, establishing the path of bhakti, etc., etc. Similarly, Prabhupada as well. So many things were going on in the movement, in the world, but Prabhupada's unflinching faith to glorify the Lord is we can see in these purports. So that was regarding lotus feet. Now he's saying almost like what is the result of that meditation in the form of the Lord? Etadrupam anudhyayam atma shuddhim abhipsitam yad bhakti yogo apayadaha swadharmam anushtitam. Is the translation.
My dear Lord, those who desire to purify their existence must always engage in the meditation upon your lotus feet as described above. Those who are serious about executing their occupational duties and who want to freedom from fear must take to this process of Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah. So here, especially the path of bhakti is glorified. What will happen? Yadanudhyayam. What will happen? So meditation on the lotus feet. Who desire to purify existence must engage in meditation on the lotus feet. Even those who are serious about varnashram dharma, swadharma manushthitam, they also should take up path of bhakti, which is abhayadaha, factual fearlessness, which gives bhakti yoga gives abhaya, abhaya charana aravinda, Prabhupada ki jai. So like that, by this, one is actually want to purify, one should start meditating on, and by that also we become fearless. By practicing bhakti yoga, one becomes fearless. Who want freedom from fear must take this process of bhakti yoga. So then Prabhupada explains real meditation. The whole process what Lord Shiva is mentioning. Or the whole goal of all the even Dhyana yogis also, Prabhupada mentions that famous verse that Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutastunvanti Divyaistavayr. That verse says, the third line says that Dhyana Vastitadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogina. So even for yogis also, the Lord should be the object of meditation. So that is mentioned. So that is actual real business, Prabhupada mentions. Please read this one.
This is the real business of the yogis, to think of the lotus feet of the Lord. Lord Shiva therefore advises that one who is actually serious about purification must engage himself in this type of meditation or in the mystic yoga system, which will help him not only to see the Lord within constantly, but to see him face to face and become his associate in Vaikuntha Loka or Golok Vrindavan.
That is the actual goal of yoga, to meditate on the Supreme Lord's position. So then meditation, Prabhupada explains about Swadharmam. So Anudhyayam, what is explained? Anudhyayam. The one should meditate on the form of the Lord. And whatever Swadharma, even Swadharma, those who are following the Swadharma, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra perfectly, so they also should come to the final point of Bhakti Yoga. Without Bhakti Yoga, if you just practice Swadharma, just practicing Dharma on your whatever, you're doing your duties, that's good. People are, especially in India, very much focused on doing their duty, especially in jobs also we see that previously, at least now also many people 20 between 50 years before, and once they take up one job means one job, that's it, whole life, no more change. But because of many issues, change, many circumstances nowadays, keep on shuffling and skipping and jumping from one to one, because it's so different. But the permanent job is always very much famous. So but just by doing our duty, so it's not the perfection, doing our just occupation duties, but they have to be supported by Bhakti Yoga. That's what main point here. The one may do when we're continuing his duty. Just like people continue, they study well, they marry, they are very chaste and very dutiful and very dharmic. Even the pious, they try to support others, or try to help others. And definitely they are, I mean, very good, appreciable, wonderful, and very much they gain punya, agreed. But that is not the perfection of life, just taking care of all the duties. But one has to come to understand how we are different from the body, we are going to die, what is the goal of life, the Supreme Lord, and relationship with Supreme Lord. So that is meant by Bhakti Yoga. So all the Varnashrama has to be supported. The goal is Bhakti Yoga. Varnashrama Chadara Vamsa Purushena Parapuma. I think Prabhupada quotes that verse. I think these are somewhere else. The goal of all Varnashrama is to please Krishna. Purushena Parapuma Nanya Tattosha Karanam. There is no other cause. Tattosha karana. To please him is the goal of all varnas. So that's the main point Prabhupada writes. Please read Prabhupada writes. Generally.
Generally, people think that simply by executing the occupational duties of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or the duty of a Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, one becomes fearless or securely attains liberation. But factually, unless all these occupational duties are accompanied by Bhakti Yoga, one cannot become fearless.
Thereby, so one has to take a path of bhakti to become fearless, and not to just become fearless and go achieve the higher destination, the supreme destination, not just higher destination. So Prabhupada quotes authorities, or even Ramanandra and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Samvad. The Varnashrama is not the goal, Eho Bahya, but rather one should keep on going ahead and ahead. Up to the point of Sthane Shruti Tane Sita Shrutikatam Tanuman Manobhir Jnane Prayasamadapasanamantaeva. So that famous verse he quotes. One should give up all other things. Sthane Sita Shrutikatam. Should just keep on hearing about Supreme Lord, serving the Supreme Lord, engaging in the ninefold devotional service. That is the essence, ultimate essence of goal of life. So bhakti. That's Prabhupada is establishing. The conclusion you read, middle point.
The conclusion is that if one is serious about liberation, he not only should educate the occupational duties or varnashram dharma, but should also engage in bhakti yoga by beginning hearing from a realized soul.
So it should focus on the Naveda Bhakti, focus on, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established path of Sankirtan. And also he also mentions to Sanatana Goswami, Taramate Sarvasreshta Nama Sankirtan. So he mentions that Sadhanera Madhye Sreshta Navavida Bhakti, Sadhanera Madhye Sreshta Navavida Bhakti. So Navavida Bhakti is like a Sreshta of all the sadhanas, Jnana, Karma, Tapa, Yoga, whatever it may. But Navavida Bhakti is the topmost, but out of all that is Sankirtan. So that we, by Prabhupada's mercy and from day one when we come to introduced into Krishna consciousness, the chanting, dancing, all this very much is emphasized. So that only can give out fearlessness, bhakti yoga. So that's what main point, that anudhyayam, by meditating on Supreme Lord, one should come to the point of fearlessness. One will come to bhayada, abhayada. And even for varnashrama also, that this should be the goal. That should be the basis and the goal also. Then from here to 59 verses, he establishes the path of bhakti. Or only by bhakti we can attain the Supreme Lord. Bhavan bhakti mata labhyo durlabha sarvadehinam swarajyasyapi abhimata ekantenatma vidgatihi.
My dear Lord, the king in charge of the heavenly kingdom is also desirous of obtaining the ultimate goal of life, devotional service. Similarly, you are the ultimate destination of those who identify themselves with you, Aham Brahmasmi. However, it is very difficult for them to attain you, where the devotee can very easily attain your lordship.
So it's very difficult. Durlabho bhaktimata labhyo durlabha. It's very difficult, but still sarvadehinam, it's very difficult, but still one should attain, one should endeavor for that. Tasaiva heto praiteto kopito na labhyate yadbrahmatam paryagaha. One should endeavor for what we are cannot get in the 14 planetary systems. One should endeavor for that purpose, though it's difficult, as Prabhupada mentions that even it's mentioned here. Bhakti, though it's a little difficult, and one should because even Swarajasyapi Bhimata Ekantenatma Vidgatihi, even those great personalities like Indra, especially here mentioned, Swarajasya, the king in charge of heavenly kingdom, Sarasa opinion. All these people are aspiring. Even in later verses will come, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, Manus, they are also aspiring practicing bhakti. So, amazing point of Lord Shiva here in these verses, that we can see that they are also aspiring Indra, Brahma. Later verses will come. Brahma about Brahma and Manus also. So that means that everyone knows about the path of bhakti, just like many people know about path of bhakti and Krishna and bhakti and all, but it doesn't immediately strike them. What is the urgency of it? How urgent it is? It's very difficult. Even in our devotion service, even myself also, it's quite difficult. It becomes complacent, and we think that, oh, it's a lot of time is there. What is worry? Why to become serious now? Let us chant. Slowly we'll improve ourselves. Other time will teach. As we grow anyway, where the seriousness we'll become more serious. Time will teach. We'll become more serious, etc. etc. Oh. Gajendra says that only ignorance increases with passage of time. We should take our own intent very careful, with intentions, with our own exercise, our own free will to be determined to go ahead in our spiritual life. Otherwise, things will not grow by time. Time will be only a destructive element. It will destroy our enthusiasm. It will destroy our body. It will destroy our enthusiasm. It will destroy means it has the potential to destroy, but it's our free will to exercise. So we should take up every day. We should take up with the utmost seriousness, and we should plan at least to improve certain things. So that is the main point. So it's very rare, very difficult as well, but still it's easy for devotees. That's the main point. Please read Prabhupada writes that essence. Please read as stated.
As stated in Brahma Samhita, Vedeshu Durlam Adurlabam Atma Bhakto, Bhagavad Base 5.33. This indicates that it is very difficult for one to attain the ultimate goal of life and reach the supreme destination, Vaikuntha Loka or Golok Vrindavan, simply by studying Vedanta philosophy or Vedic literature. However, this highest perfectional stage can be attained by the devotees very easily. That is the meaning of Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakto. The same point is confirmed by Lord Shiva in this verse.
For them, it's very difficult. Yogis, Jnanis, etc. For bhaktas, it's a little bit, definitely, it's quite easy. Chanting, dancing, feasting, as Prabhupada mentions. That's definitely is there. But we have to do it also with the proper understanding. And it becomes quite a wonderful process. So then Prabhupada establishes how bhakti, bhaktya mama vijanati. So by bhakti only we can conquer the Lord. We can become fearless. We can achieve highest goal. Even Bhagavad Gita also mentions, if you see 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you have studied also Bhakti Shastri. 12th chapter is exclusively mentions about how it's very difficult. But for bhaktas, what Krishna says, Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagara. So I will come to pick up my devotees. Of course, he also gives the qualification, what you have to do. So he says that ananya yogena, one should be engaging themselves and completely absorbing Vaibhav Manovima. Someone should be keep on absorbing ourselves, then he will definitely is there for us. Easily picking up from all this ocean of material existence. Please read last point.
One may be elevated to the heavenly planets or may realize himself as Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. But that is not the end of the realization. One must realize the position of the Supreme Personal Godhead by Bhakti Yoga. Then real perfection of life is attained.
So that's the main point, that how by bhakti, even these great personalities are aspiring, Indra, etc. So one should basically emphasizing the bhakti process from various angles. So that is the main point. Bhakti is the topmost. Bhakti is glorified from various angles. Tam तं दुराराध्यम् आराध्य सतामपि दुरापय एकान्तभक्त्या को वाञ्छेत् पादमूलं विना बहिः.
My dear Lord, pure devotional service is even difficult for liberated person to discharge. But devotional service alone can satisfy you. Who will take to other pursuits of self-realization if he is actually serious about the perfection of life?
Hmm. Here mentioned about the glorified bhakti previously. But it's also little satamapi durapaya. It's very difficult to attain. Duraratham. So though it's mentioned easy, the Prabhupada mentions in the Brahmana section, easy for those, I mean, those who are sincere, it is easy for those who are very sincere. It's very difficult those who are complicated. Process is depends on our own approach. Just like mathematics or any subject, just like cooking also. If somebody has a kitchen means some people may even terror to enter the kitchen. A fire, oil, hot oil and gas and this and that. One may be terrified by seeing kitchen. But those who understand kitchen, mothers especially, those who understand, they love to be in kitchen and cook so many wonderful items out of kitchen. So it's like that. So it depends upon how much one is aware of what is one is doing, especially bhakti. Bhakti also appears to be very difficult, especially 16 rounds. By seeing bead bag only, it appears to be weight of 100 kilos, especially for me, I am saying. But still, but those who are exalted souls, for them, it's like a pot of nectar, keep on drinking, as Rav Goswami mentions. तुण्डे ताण्डवनेन्द्रतेऽम्बि तनुते तुण्डावलीलब्धये. I want millions and millions of tongues and ears to chant and hear and taste the nectar. But definitely, basically, the point is that though it's mentioned it's difficult, path of bhakti yoga is difficult, but it's more of the person to person approach as we can practically experience. Some people, for some devotees, it's like a cakewalk. And chanting and doing devotional service. For others, it's really a tough task. How to maintain these two principles and chanting, maintaining themselves, trying to. For others, it's like, I mean, not only they are maintaining, they are walking and they are just like a big truck is there, 20 tire truck. If it is going on the road, I mean, it can drag the auto without any, if it has, I mean, if it happens that auto is stuck at the end, the 20 tire truck can drag away the auto without any difficulty. That's how the nature of the force of the truck. It can drag anything on the road. But if it happens like a small cycle is there, if it has to drag auto, how it will be very difficult. The cycle will stuck first of all. So similarly, pure devotees can they have such a force, such a spiritual force. They can with them we can go also very easily along with them. That's the association of power of association. So like that we need to be in association with devotees. Then it becomes quite easy to go along with the process of bhakti. Otherwise, we have to more and more struggle on our own. But we need to be always in association with devotees. Association with devotees, we can comparison like how it's like great devotees association, exalted devotees. It will come now. Association of devotees. Kshanayadhanapi, kshanardhenapi. It's like going in a bench car. Association of great devotees is like going in a bench car. When you sit in bench car or the high-end cars, lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees. I mean, even if you go on the pothole road, which is Kacha road, with all kinds of potholes or There is no practical road only. It's all concrete, all stones, no tar road, potholes on top. So even if you go on that road, but still just kind of a high-end car, bench car can go. I mean, we don't experience that kind of a difficulty in the inside car because the system of the car is so refined. The suspension systems is so refined and well fabricated, well designed for that kind of even for bad roads. And even if you go on the roads, then still it can give a good experience. But that is the Great Souls Association. So though the world is filled with all kinds of trials and troubles and difficulties, even Pada Bhakti sometimes appears to be. So, but we are with great devotees and this process very, very easy, just like we see Prabhupada's mercy, associating with Prabhupada, what disciples could do in Western countries. Otherwise, who are all addicted to all kinds of sinful activities. They could take sannyas at the age of 19, 20, give up everything and could do so many things. Yes, there is a potency. So, but that is there is a nature of association of great souls. But associating with neophytes, it's like getting into auto with same road, Kacha road. How will you feel? You feel terrible if you're going in auto and that kind of road. Headache only will come after 10 minutes. So that's like association of neophyte devotees. Very, very, very difficult. So we should always seek association of great souls, aspire to be. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, means we are associating with great souls like Prabhupada and all the acharyas. So by learning from them, we can experience the sweetness of bhakti. Though it's appeared to be a little difficult initially, but the taste, the sweetness we can experience. Yes. So Lord Shiva is saying that though it's difficult, but for that end only we should aim. Though it's difficult comparatively, comparatively it's easy. Other process, jnana, yoga, karma. But within itself, if you compare for the conditioned state, it appears to be little difficult. Attaining Supreme Lord, attaining prema, starting from Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivritti, it becomes quite tough. Anartha Nivritti stage only becomes quite vast, appears to be. But we should endeavor to take association of devotees to go ahead. Though the road is difficult, but association of devotees is like a flight. They can pick us and take us away from the road itself and fly to take us to destination. It's like that. Not only it's like a bench car, they can be a flights also. They can be like a flight, helicopter. They come and pick up and put it in a different place. Like that. Yeah. So he's continuing the glory of bhakti. Yatra nirvishtam aranam pratanto nabhimanyate vishwam vidvam shayan virya shaurya vispujita dhruva.
Simply by expansion of his eyebrows, invincible time personified can immediately vanquish the entire universe. However, formidable time does not approach the devotee who has taken complete shelter at your lotus feet.
So though everything, the time destroys, just like there is English saying that God's mills grinds very slow, but exceedingly fine. So they go very, very slow. The time we don't perceive only how time is going. It's already 2026, February is gone. Can you imagine? Already February is end. March we start. I mean, we are at different phases of our life in this human form of life. How time went. It's a flash of second. We just look back. What happened? It appears to be a moment. 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. So, but invincible time, but no one can check it. But Those who, as I was mentioning, Tasyar Te Shuno Nita, Uttama Shloka Vartaya, those who are engaged in Uttama Shloka Varta, their time cannot touch. Ayur Harati Vaipumsa, Ayur Harati Vaipumsa, Udyanastam Chernoso. So the sun, by its rising and setting, Ayur Harati, it will आयु को हरा देता है, उसको शोष लेता भी है. तो आयु हरति, it captures, it sneezes, it steals the ayu. So that's the general Prabhupada is mentioning about time and how it cannot touch devotees. Please read the first two paras. First he explains about general principle, and then he talks about devotees.
Only the highlighted part?
Yeah, this also you can read.
Okay. So general principle in Bhagavad Gita 10.34, it is said that the Lord in the shape and form of the death destroys all a person's positions. Mrityu sarva haras chaham. I am all devouring death. The Lord in the shape of death takes away everything that is created by the conditional soul. Everything in this material world is subject to perish in due course of time. Devotee's achievement versus others' achievement. However, all the strength of time cannot hamper the activities of a devotee. For a devotee takes complete shelter and lotus feet of the Lord. For this reason, only is a devotee free from formidable time.
So only devotees achievements, like Prabhupada quotes that famous verse, Salpamapyasya dharmasya trayato mukto bhayat. So all of the things, whatever we have, I mean, the great Alexander is a life itself. We know that how while he was taken away to graveyard, he requested three things to be carried out. So before leaving his body, he actually ordered his servants and doctors that what three things should be done while taking him to graveyard. So one thing is, he said that those doctors who treated me, they only should carry my coffin. And my hand should be put out from the coffin. I mean, the hand should be out, excluding from the coffin, and with open hands. And the third thing he mentioned that all the wealth that I accrued are the one all over the world, especially the jewels and all. They should be thrown on me, the coins, gold coins, etc., whatever. So these three things, conditions he mentioned to them, showing that these doctors cannot help any doctors, even the biggest doctors. They themselves cannot save themselves, right? Can others be saved? So that was one, and though I earned the whole earth, whole world was in my grip of hands, but I cannot take anything. Other than, I mean, what to speak of all this gold and jewels. So they are just, I have to live here only. So that kind of time, I mean, that cannot be, anything cannot be taken with us. It is a powerful influence of time, it's mentioned here, but only comes with us is our, whatever we have done, the bhakti. Bhakti only will be carried along. All material things will be stay back. So that basically it should give us a little more impetus to focus on what is the essence, what we have to gain in this life, what we have to. Of course, we should not be scared. We should do our whatever duties we have, and definitely at the same time we should focus on should be more focus and increase our intensity, determination to focus on the essence and real aspects. That's how Lord Shiva is, and Prabhupada also giving us a warning to make sure that we are focusing on the essence. So that's what Prabhupada is also saying, that the Bhakta's achievement is never destroyed, for it goes perpetually, be it complete or incomplete. On the other hand, especially those who are like Jnanis, Yogis, whatever they may achieve, so their punya will be destroyed. They cannot carry on further. Bhakti is eternal. All other processes are on a mode of goodness level only. The path of bhakti is only eternal. Path of bhakti is only transcendental. That means the results are also transcendental, whatever you do bhakti. So other process, karma, jnana, yoga, tapa, whatever it may be, it has a punya aspect, mode of goodness aspect is there. You'll get good health, good high position, post position, name, fame, good family, all these things one can get by practicing all those things. And, but only by bhakti, the results are eternal. Of course, they may be useful when we come in contact with bhaktas, devotion. They may help us, as we have seen in Putumara section also. I mean, last chapters, how we practiced yoga with great tapasyas and etc. etc. They can help, but they are not in essence. Now, please read Prabhupada's last statements.
In essence, simply by blinking his eyes, time personified can destroy the entire cosmic manifestation. But he has nothing to do with the devotee. In other words, devotional service, which is rendered by the devotee in his lifetime, can never be destroyed by time. Such spiritual assets remain unchanged, being beyond the influence of time.
Hmm. As I mentioned, Gajendra time, Gajendra talks about this time. Only time increases ignorance. With the passage of time, if you draw a graph, as the time increases, only by passage of time, ignorance increases. So only by using or exercising our free will, when we engage in the process of bhakti, that only will counteract all kinds of destructive forces of time. Mm. This is one of the famous verse. क्षणार्थेनापि तलये न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवं भगवत्सङ्गि सङ्गस्य मर्त्यानां किमुताशिषः. Glory of association of devotees.
I think if anyone wants to read, they can read now.
Now someone else wants to try?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
Pranam.
हाँ, हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी. If one by chance associates with a devotee, even for a fraction of moment, he no longer is subject to attraction by the result of karma or jnana. What interest then can he have in the benediction of the demigod who are subject to the laws of birth and death?
So the association of devotees, kshanardhenapi, tulaye malavenapi, whatever it is. How it translates Prabhupada, kshanardhena, by half a moment. By half a moment, kshanardhena. There tulema lavenapi. Lava means I think 1/8 second mentioned. Of course, Prabhupada was asked, what does it mean? Half a second, 1/8 second, half a moment. How it affects? What does it mean? Yeah, Prabhupada explained a little more. So definitely one can have just by taking darshan of a devotee. What to speak of darshan, even remembering a devotee. Esham sasmaranat pumsam sadhyo shuddhanti vigraha kim puna darshana sparsha pad sauchasranadipi. Parikshit Maharaj says to Sukadeva Goswami that what to speak of darshan, even remembering a great devotee can purify our houses. What to speak of darshana, sparsha, pada sauchasanas, which is washing their feet and welcoming them, serving them. So that kind of glorification is given for great souls, exalted personalities, even by remembering them. So Prabhupada was giving us some purport about this one, about associating with the great personalities. He gave an example of dry wood and fire. Just like a fire, when it contacts with dry wood, then immediately dry wood catches the fire. So pure devotees are compared to fire. And the association, those people who come in contact with the great souls are like wood. If the wood is wet, how much ever contact may be there with fire? Of course, in due course of time, the water will evaporate and it will catch fire. But it also depends upon the proportion of water content in the wood. If wood is very dry, then it will immediately catch the fire. So that's how Prabhupada mentioned, Kshana, Kshana, Dena, Pitadaye. So they can pick up bhakti like immediately. So that's how we also see many examples in our movement also. just came in touch with Prabhupada, and their fire was ablaze. They are very ripened for bhakti. And even we see that even after many, many years of staying with Prabhupada also, but many could not pick up that kind of bhakti, because we are all wet with all material desires or some other desires than focusing on pure devotees' desires, or not aligning with pure devotees' desires. But still, by staying with them, slowly we can be purified more and more with sincerity. That is one of the main points Prabhupada mentioned about this aspect of Tolayama, how we can understand that a fraction of second and a fraction of moment, very small time of association. Just like we see Prabhupada associating with his divine grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami, so first meeting, there's that fire caught like already ready. He was actually in the moment of Gandhi giving up everything of this world. Can you imagine 1930s, 20s giving up a degree in English college, famous Scottish Church College? If you have degree, that means you become such a great person. You can earn a lot, you can have a good job. That time you have such a kind of 100 years before. This 2026 was in the 1920s. So he had that opportunity to have a degree from that British university. But he gave up the degree also. He didn't go only to take up the degree. But he took up the Gandhi's mission. He understood that this is not the life itself. He had that kind of, of course, definitely there he's pure devotee, but at least externally he's not manifesting. He manifested also just by conducting Rath Yatras and always going to the Radha Govindam temple, praying to the Lord. He coming to dream when he was in college. Lord was coming in dream and saying, "My dear, why you are keeping me in box? You worship me." So then Prabhupada took up his deity and started worshipping in college. In hostel, he thought he was a little shy. So that's an amazing personality, Prabhupada. So just came in touch with the Bhaktivedanta and caught the fire. From the time onwards, he was so blazing fire, Prabhupada. So that's the beauty of association of great souls. In various ways, we can understand the association of great souls. Any example, any other examples you have? Any analogy or example or experience? Association of great souls. You want to share something, one or two points?
Narad Muni Prabhu,
Nardamani with?
that Bhakti Vedantas, those who have stayed for the
Ah,
Chaturmas 4 months.
correct. Very, very beautiful example. The association of great souls for 2-3 months. So that was, he was serving very short time of 2-3 months. He got the fire. He was so purified, so elevated, wonderful. Nardamani, not only he became Nardamani, by Nardamani giving his association also, there is a famous story of how he wanted to understand what is the association of great souls. I don't remember the details of such a great details, but he had only the question, what is the association? They always say that association of great souls is wonderful. What is the association? He wanted to understand. He asked Lord Vishnu, what does it mean, association? Okay, you go to Uloka and go to that family, and there is a child just now born. So when Nathamuni just went, he wanted to inquire, what is the, you asked them, he said, so he asked, what is the power of association? The family, the child was born, but he died. So immediately he went to different place. That's how he was going to different places, but they were saying, you go to that place, you go to that place. So then he was traveling, and went up to the Vishnu. So that's how finally he came to know that the power of association. The child came up to the Vishnu Loka. There he mentions that, yeah, this is the power of your association. I came from material world, I came all up to the Loka of Vishnu. I achieved the lotus feet of Vishnu. So the Jiva explains your association. I passed within a seconds, within moments, I came from material world to crossing all the planets and Swarga, Brahmaloka, to the point of Vishnu Loka. This is the power of association, dimensions to the Jiva. So yeah, there are many wonderful stories about association of great souls. Please read this power of association.
Hare Krishna. Bhakti yoga is sufficient to give the bhakta all happiness. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6, Yayatma Suprasiddhati. One can be fully satisfied simply by devotional service, and that is the result of association with a devotee. Without being blessed by a pure devotee, no one can be fully satisfied, nor can anyone understand the transcendental position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So Bhakti, so there is I think last time, I don't know whether I mentioned in this class, there's a Siddhanta in Bhakti, that Bhakta Krupanugamini Bhagavad Krupa. Means only by the mercy of devotee one can achieve Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasadam. That's a very everyday we singing, that a famous stanza. So that was explained by Vishnu Thakur, and the same statement also he explains in same Ardhamuni section. Bhakta Krupa Anugamani Bhagavad Krupa. Only by the mercy of devotees one can achieve the mercy of Supreme Lord. Why it is like that? If you ask question, then he only answers that because Bhagavato Bhaktadinatvat. Because the Supreme Lord is a Bhaktadin. Bhakta ka adino bhaya Bhagavan. He is always like that. He say every time he is like that only. भक्त का अधीन में रहते हैं भगवान. इसलिए जब भक्त जाते हैं, भगवान भक्त कहाँ जाते हैं वहां जाते हैं. So there is also a famous verse, Nartamani. That yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tishtami narada. Narada he says, but Vishnu says to Narada. So wherever devotees are there is a powerful association with great souls that we need to always remember and try to exercise in our life, that to take always association of great souls. So then he's glorifying the path of bhakti, and the essence of bhakti is saying that association of devotees. One of the main the process of bhakti. I think last time I showed here. There's sadhu sangha sarvashastra sadhu sangha sarvasiddhi. I think the later verses Prabhupada is quoting here. The famous verses. This is the Great Souls Association format. So that is the, even Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami in his Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions how that without sadhu sangha, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hoya Sadhu Sangha, Krishna Prema Janmate Ho Namukya Anga. Says that Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hoya Sadhu Sangha. I think last time I showed you. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Hoya Sadhu Sangha. Only Krishna Bhakti will be born in the Sadhu Sangha. Krishna Prema Janmate Ho Punamukya Anga. Even after we get Krishna Prema Janmate Ho Punamukya Anga. Even after we get Krishna Prema, that will be only the Punamukya Anga. So Sadhu Sangha is the backbone of our bhakti. There was one picture where it shows the beauty of beauty in the sense the backbone of bhakti is Sadhu Sangha. So how Sadhu Sangha is very, very beautifully depicted in this picture. There it is that. Yes. So this is last time I think I showed, but just to remind ourselves more and more the essence of Sadhu Sangha. Of course, that time we discussed more of anardhas, etc. But you see the Sadhu Sangha aspect, how it is very nicely depicted, depicted in this picture. So Sadhu Sangha only it starts, from Nardamani story, how Sadhu Sangha is the main aspect. to give Shraddha, and that is only by which we can start bhakti, sadhu sangha. You see here is written sadhu sangha, here sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, sadhu sangha, ananda nivritti, sadhu sangha, and then further it goes sadhu sangha, then nishtha, sadhu sangha, then ruchi, sadhu sangha, then asakti, sadhu sangha, bhava, sadhu sangha. Is there inside also? The sadhu sangha will be there. Machitta, madgata prana, bodhayanta parasparam, kathayantasya mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So that's the aspect of sadhu sangha. We should understand the importance and the power of sadhu sangha. Okay, we continue. That's because this whole section is mentioning that, so I wanted to mention that point about sadhu sangha. We should take every opportunity to meet them, talk to them, share, serve them, please them, hear from them, try to follow the instructions. Of course, Guru is our the ultimate sadhu in our life, especially. That's also, we should definitely take association. So we'll read translation. Please read, please. Source.
Yes, Prabhu. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the cause of all auspicious things and the destroyer of all the contamination of sin. I therefore beg your Lordship to bless me by association of your devotee, who are completely purified by worshipping your lotus feet and who are so merciful upon the conditioned souls. I think that your real benediction will be to allow me to associate with such devotees.
Do you have any remembrance who else prayed for association of devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam? Any idea, any remembrance? They're asking the Lord, please give me devotees association. So just like Lord Shiva is praying for association here, and there are also prayers that please give me association of devotees. Any remembrance, any devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam or any came across? We have many, even a great exalted like souls, Prahlad Maharaj, Ritu Maharaj, Vritrasur Maharaj. They're also praying, everyone is praying for, I want to be in association with it. Yes, Madam. Want to say something?
Prabhuji, Vidurji. Vidurji. Vidur.
Vidura is asking, do you remember any context? Vidura asking, which part of the section? Any remembrance? I'm immediately unable to recollect, might be definitely. There are praying for association with devotees. Okay, definitely I'm able to recollect immediately. For any verse matter concerning Vidurji and being third canto. Practically many head personalities. Uttarasan Maharaj, Mamattama Shloka Janeshu Sakyam. Dhruva Maharaj is praying, Bhakti Muhu Parvata Tvaime Prasango, Bhuyadanam Tamasam, Malashayana, three devotees. So, yeah, like that many great personalities always longing to be in association of devotees. So why? Because it's quite easy to connect to the Lord. It is very easy to remember the Lord in association of devotees. Right now, when we have that experience, when we are in association of devotees, it's quite easy than individually. Yeah. By his exemplary prayers, Lord Shiva teaches us that our best course is to take shelter of Lord Vishnu and his Vaishnava devotees. So both, especially in Vaishnava devotees, we can remember the Lord more easily. So that's the one of the main point. Please read the translation.
The devotees whose heart has been completely cleansed by the process of devotional service, and who is favored by Bhakti Devi does not become bewildered by the external energy, which is just like a dark way. Being completely cleansed of all material contaminations, in this way, a devotee is able to understand very happily your name, fame, form, and activities, etc.
What will happen in the association of the devotees? So that's how he is mentioning that completely cleansed by the process of devotion service is favored by Bhakti Devi. So the devotee whose heart is completely cleansed. So when we have that association, it's very easy to understand. We understand very happily our name, form, etc. So let us see. Srila Prabhupada, I think, famous story. I think what is a verse number? 29th. I think is very beautifully mentioning what will happen in the association. So from association of your devotees, the heart becomes particularly pure or Vishuddham. Particular means specifically or very, very clean. Vishuddham. With a pure heart, one can realize your form, pastimes, beauty. A pure heart, Chittam, is described here in this verse. This verse, the pure heart is described. It is not agitated by external objects at the time of remembering and hearing about you. So the pure heart, especially the purified devotees, they have pure heart. Pure devotees means pure heart, basically, Chitta. So what is their position? Their position is that they will not be agitated by external objects at the time of remembering and hearing about you. It does not enter a hole for sleeping. I mean, Chitta will not enter a hole in the sense that it doesn't go into sleep. The Chitta. At the time of hearing and remembering you, the heart does not become subject to disturbances of drowsiness. So the reason is that it has been blessed with bhakti and thus becomes pure. So finally, the essence of meaning is saying here. Please read this one.
Yes,
Causes
sir.
of bhakti.
The causes of wait a minute. Causes of sleep and agitations are the offenses to the name, which are offenses to the bhakti. When this disappears, Bhakti Devi is pleased. When she is pleased, she gives mercy. This means there will be no agitation or sleep while performing bhakti. When the heart is pure, one who is inclined to meditate form meditate mind then sees your pastimes
Gatim. And beauty. And beauty.
Getam
Yeah.
and beauty.
Gatim. Gatim. The words are explained basically. So basically, the root causes that Krishna Consciousness is explaining slowly, by taking back when heart will become pure, when the bhakti will be pleased, and when our offenses will cease, when all these external things will disappear. This is all by from association with your devotees. So whose heart is pure. That's all is saying about the process of bhakti, how it works. So thereby our chitta becomes pure and we will not be agitated by all these things. As it's like I mentioned, like a dark well. Gruhamanda Kupam, dark well, mental excellence. Prabhupada especially glorifies association of devotees, how it can save from all kinds of satsangan mukta dusango. First canto also mentions how will be freed. Okay, read this highlight portion. Why we
Hare
are
Krishna.
disturbed.
The bhakti yoga process must be carried out by avoiding the 10 offenses one can commit while chanting, the Maha Mantra, and the 64 offenses one can commit while worshipping the deities.
So though I am practicing, but why my chitta is not becoming pure? Why there are still disturbances are there in the form of sleep and agitation, etc., while chanting, hearing. why the result of no disturbance is not seen. Prabhupada is mentioning about basically offenses, sins and offenses will block our path of bhakti, progress. Though sun is there, just like when we have a rainy season or winter season, the temperature of sun is same always, but we experience different temperatures. Why? Why? Because we are under clouds. Sometimes clouds are so thick, we cannot even experience sun. We cannot even see the sun. Seeing the sun, or we can experience the sun. The clouds are so thick. So that's how the Bhakti Yoga also is so powerful, but still the offenses are like clouds which cover potency. So the Prabhupada is giving a little more details to focus on, to work where we have to work, avoiding the 10 offenses and try to avoiding the 64 kind of offenses in deity worship, especially those who are doing deity worship, the 64 rules and regulations. Of course, the 64 angas are different, 64 offenses are different while worshipping deity. The 64 angas we need to exercise, as Rupa Goswami mentions 64 limbs: watering tulsi, circumambulating the Lord, worshipping the Lord, dancing before the Lord, stuti, glorifying the Lord, expressing our heart to the Lord, offering arati to the Lord, going in the procession, all these things, taking charanamrita, taking mahaprasad, offering everything that we have. So all these 64 limbs we need to exercise, and we need to save from all these other things, two things, especially 10 offenses and especially worship deity, offenses and worship deity. So what is the conclusion?
Hare Krishna. Conclusion. The conclusion is that when one's heart is purified by the association of devotee and by the awareness of the offenses committed while chanting and worshipping the Lord, the transcendental name, form, and the activities of the Lord are revealed by the Lord.
So they all will be revealed by the Lord. So this is the main essence will happen in the association of devotees. In the association of the devotees, the bhakti becomes very easy to perform, and we can go in the process of bhakti with great strength and determination, even though there are some obstacles or some stumbling blocks in between. Because the world is like that, they always will be there, but we need to become strong. So by practicing bhakti, life may not become easy, but we become strong. There is one statement by article by Sri Chaitanya Prabhu. The practice of bhakti, life may not become easy, but we become strong. What does that mean? Just like he gives example, just like a person. There was one story that once one guru uh, gave a kind of exercise, means gave a task. When a disciple asked, how should I become strong in bhakti, etc. He said, okay, so I will first of all give you one task. Then you try to. He said that it's becoming quite difficult to practice bhakti and all. It's very heavy to do. And then I'm not very encouraged how it is affecting me, how I am seeing change in my life. I'm unable to see any change. Then he said, okay, what you do? So you see there is a hill is there. Yes, Guruji. So there one stone is there at the bottom of the hill, small hill. What you do? You try to push it up. A small stone is there. You try to push the stone up the hill. Then disciple said, okay, I'll do. So then one day he was trying, second day he was trying, third day he was trying. Little push the stone up, little. But the stone is a little bigger and is practically unable to move only an inch. Even after 15 days, 30 days, nothing happened. Nothing happened to the stone. After 30, 40 days, then he approached Guru and asked, Guruji, you said to move the stone. But I'm trying my level best, it's not moving at all. I'm doing nothing. So is there any change in the position of the stone? No, no Guruji. Okay, you try a little more. So then he was trying. After 2 months, then he again came. Guruji, no change. So then Guruji showed his own muscles. See, before you started this exercise of throwing up the stone was there, and stone also appears to be there only now also. But what happened to your hands? Guruji, my hands became strong by trying to push the stone. Though the stone did not move, but my hands became strong. So that is happening in your bhakti also. That though it appears to be bhakti where we are unable to move ahead in atas or whatever, but internally we becoming strong. So by practicing bhakti, life may not appears to be easy. Rather, it may appears to be a little more complicated or difficult. Sometimes Krishna does some things which appears to be very difficult. Some things are coming in life at different levels, physical, mental, family, this and that. Life is not becoming easy, we may feel, but by practicing day by day, we are becoming strong internally. We will become strong internally. So we are sincere. So that's the beauty of bhakti. So that happens in the association of devotees. So that's slowly we can move ahead with the strength in the association of devotees. All this will slowly happen. We'll try to clear off offenses and we grow in bhakti. Then we can come to the final aspect of the ultimate achieve, Krishna Prem, what we talk about little far, but still we should have that. We should have insight where we are. The path should be clear. So then we will be more enthusiastic to go. The map should be clear. If a Google Map is only hazy, then we have all doubts and all kinds of there. So many fears and doubts, and so many things will come. And when Google Map is clear, or whatever the path is clear, when the destination is clearly seen, though in between red lines, red marks we see, gray marks we see, oh, there is traffic, so much of traffic is there. But the inch by inch we are moving ahead, seeing the destination. We are coming closer to destination. So that's more hope. Having a clear picture itself is a very wonderful encouragement for us to go ahead. यत्रेदं विजते विश्वं विश्वस्मिन्नवभाति यत् तत्त्वं ब्रह्म परं ज्योतिराकाशम् इव विश्रुतम्.
Hare Krishna. My dear Lord, the impersonal Brahman spreads everywhere, like the sunshine or the sky. And that impersonal Brahman, which spreads throughout the universe and in which the entire universe is manifested, is you.
Is you. So is you, by stressing is you, means he is able to see the Supreme Lord in various aspects. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdate. But till now, Bhagavan aspect is very much glorified and practice the bhakti, bhakta and Bhagavan. So all the aspects of the nature of a devotee, the nature of bhakti, nature of Bhagavan is very much glorified. Now at the same time, how other people may try to approach the Supreme Lord in different aspects. So they also, it is you only. So to emphasize that point, so Lord Shiva is glorifying different aspects of the Supreme Lord now from this verse onwards. So we'll just see the summary where you can have some overview what is going on so that they can keep up the flow. So from 53 onwards we have started today. Till now, that 52, till that point, the Rupam is explained. 53, the glory of the meditation on that form. By the meditating on the form, we will become fearless. Vayadaha. That is the process of bhakti is also glorified. Even purified souls aspire for that kind of a meditation. Or should rather, who desires purification should meditate on this form. Then bhakti is glorified. It's a very difficult process. It's very rare. It's very rare. It's very So of course, we discussed about the difficulty aspect, how it is relatively difficult and easy. And how time cannot touch those who are practicing bhakti, potency of bhakti. And that bhakti can only not achieved, received, cannot achieve, but received. The bhakti can only received in the association of devotees, by the mercy of devotees. Bhaktanugraha. So Bhakta Krupanugamini. Yasya Prasada Bhagavad Prasada. So the power of devotees association, the rarity of association, the glory of association is explained. We have seen in Sri It's a real mercy. So that is only aspiration of Lord Shiva. What to speak of us? We should also. Lord Shiva is aspiring the association of great souls. So till that point we have seen now. Now, however, some sages see your form as a Brahman, but that is you, since it is your effulgence spreading glory everywhere. So basically, nature of devotee is to see in connection with the Lord anything, everything. So in that way, these verses 60 to 66 are relationship with the Lord and material creation. So the Brahman aspect is glorified in this verse. Brahman is the effulgence of the Lord. So Prabhupada mainly mentions about that, and he mainly explains about how this impersonalists focus on the Brahmajyoti, Bhakti is topmost. Prabhupada has many examples of this. You read this one.
Here is a common example. As a successful business may have many factories and offices, and everything rests on his order. If someone says that the entire business rests on such and such a person, it does not mean that the person does not mean that the person is bearing all the factories and offices on his head. Rather, it is understood that by his brain and or his energetic expansion, the business is running without interruption. Similarly, it is the brain of energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, it is understood that by his brain and his energetic expansion, the business is running without interruption. Similarly, it is the brain and the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that carry on the complex and manifestation of the material and spiritual world.
Carry on the complete manifestation of the material and spiritual worlds. So basic point is that how he is not just holding physically all the factories and businesses, like Ambani and all the Birla, all these people, they are not holding their companies on top of their head. So heavy, like we seen Atlas in a cycle previously, but his cycle is also becoming rare. Because Atlas cycle has that kind of a logo. A very old person lifting the globe itself on his backbone, on his back. So he is not, Supreme Lord is not like that. So that's the main point, that the Supreme Lord is ultimate issue, and in the verse Lord Shiva confirms that ultimately the Supreme Lord, Supreme Truth is a person. But all the energies, he has so many energies, the energies will carry on all other activities. So that is the main point, that it's like a businessman. He's not holding himself, but his energy is carrying on all the activities. So similarly, Supreme Lord is ultimately a person. Just like a company, some companies are different. The person is different, owner is different. So the material worlds and all the worlds are different, and the Supreme Lord is different person behind them. The energies are carrying on all these activities. Parashakti Vidaiva Shruyate. So that's the main point about behind this Brahma Jyoti aspect of Supreme Lord. How to experience, Prabhupada also quotes this in 7.8. He is there everywhere in essence. He is there as a mystic power in everything. His energies are carrying on. 61. So basically we are discussing about the aspects of the Supreme Lord apart from his Bhagavan feature in this world, how we can relate to, or even transcendentalists can relate to. Brahman is over now. Jagat is spoken. Jagat and Jiva. Please read.
Yes, my dear Lord, you have manifold energies, and these energies are manifested in manifold forms. With such energies, you have also created this cosmic manifestation, and although you maintain it is if it were permanent, you ultimately annihilate it, although you are never disturbed by such changes and alternation, and the living entities are disturbed by them, and therefore they find the cosmic manifestation to be different or separated from you. My Lord, you are always independent, and I can clearly see that face. Fact.
That fact, yeah, that's right. So basically, he's saying, I can see you, the devotee can see, though he is manifesting many energies in different many folds. So if I am get caught by the energies, means I am unable to see the Supreme Lord. Maya jamanika channam magna doksha samapyajam na lakshase murdrusha nato natyadharo yata. So it is the so Krishna is there behind the curtain, but the curtain of material energies or different energies will we are unable to see him behind, who is actually making the energies dance. We have seen the picture now in Prabhupada Gita. We have how Krishna is orchestrating. Krishna is there behind on the top of the three modes of material nature, depicted by three women personalities, and the three modes are controlling all the personal with ropes at the bottom and in this material world. So everyone is controlled by three modes, depicted by three personalities, and then Krishna is behind the top of all of them. So devotee can see all these aspects very clearly. It is devotion, but others will be bewildered by these aspects. But a devotee, you can see that he is different and separated from all these energies. So the clear aspects of Jiva, Jagat and Jagadish, of course, especially Jiva and Jagat is clearly distinguished from Jagadish. But I, especially devotees, want to desire to realize Bhagavan aspect. So other aspects are there, but still devotee aspires to see the Supreme Form, the Bhagavan feature, want to relate with him. Though he is able to connect with, able to see the aspects of other aspects, but he wants to be with the supreme aspect of serving the Lord. So Prabhupada explains about jivas, mainly how they are suffering in this world, contact with the material energy. So the word Kovida, I think, Tratma Bhagavan Pratimaha, even, okay, I think it will come in the next word, I think. Basically here, all these aspects, how the jivas are struggling with this material energy. They are in contact with the material energy. They are Krishna Muli Sai Jiva Anadir Bahirmukh. So it's giving a lot of material suffering. The whole process, I explained how we want to enjoy separately from Supreme Lord, and we came here trying to enjoy so independently of the Lord. So that we many times read. Prabhupada gives a beautiful example here. For Mayavadis it is difficult, but devotees it is easy. He gives also example. Please read this one.
Hare Krishna. Because the Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand this, they want to be relieved from the material energy. However, because a Vaishnava philosopher is in full knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he finds no disturbance even in the material energy. This is because he knows how to utilize the material energy for the service of the Lord.
Continue.
Example, in the government, the criminal department and the civil department may appear different in the eyes of the citizens, but in the eyes of the government, both the departments are one and the same. The criminal department is troublesome for the criminal, but not for the obedient citizens. Similarly, this material energy is troublesome for the conditioned souls, but it has nothing to do with the liberated souls who are engaged in the service of the Lord.
Just an amazing understanding Prabhupada is giving from different angles, from spiritual, from a Supreme Lord point of view. There is no difference between material energy and spiritual energy. For him, energy is same. He has his own energy is expanding in different ways. He is not affected by those energies. That is one of the main point. But for a conditioned soul or liberated soul, he has to. I mean, conditioned soul, both one appears to be troublesome, one appears to be very happy. Criminal department and civil departments. Uh, but for liberated soul, he sees that this is all different ways of Krishna manifesting in different ways. So just like Prabhupada used to mention how devotee also welcomes death, seeing that famous pastime of Prabhupada was cooking puris when the Second World War was going on, and all the relatives are saying and running to the bunkers, shelters, bomb shelters. Hey, come on, Abhay Prabhu, come on, we should take shelter now. Bombs are dropping. Second World War is going on, and Prabhupada was saying, no, I cannot come. I am busy cooking puris. Lord is coming in the form of bombs. I need to offer to him the puris. Of course, I don't know whether he mentioned, but he said, no, I want to cook puris and offer to the Lord. So I'm a little busy now. I cannot come. So Prabhupada was seeing even Krishna in the form of that death also. I mean, of course, we cannot imitate situation, but still we can understand. They can see the things as they are. They can see things as they are. So for him, material energy is troublesome for conditioned soul. Nothing to do with liberated souls who are engaged in service of the Lord. Practically, he had underwent that kind of a situation also. Was practically fearless. For a devotee, there is nothing material. For material existence, only means forgetfulness of Supreme Personality Godhead. So for a devotee, there is nothing material. Everything is spiritual world only for him. So there's the aspect of Brahman is over. The aspect of material existence is explained in these verses. Now, Supreme Lord manifesting as a universal form. So this universe also you, my dear Lord. Lord Shiva is saying. Please read.
My dear Lord, your universal form consists of all five elements: the senses, mind, intelligence, false ego, which is material, and the Paramatma, your partial expansion, who is the director of everything. Yogis, other than the devotees, namely the Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi, worship you by their respective actions in their respective positions. It is stated both in the Vedas and the state Shastras that are uh, corollaries of the Vedas, and indeed everywhere. That is only you who are to be worshipped. That is the expert version of all the Vedas.
Expert version, Kovida. Those who are experts, they can see things as they are. So basically, an exalted devotee like Shiva is offering. Is like basically it's like it's a prayer to the Lord. He is recognizing in his prayer, my dear Lord, you only expand everywhere in every way. You are only I am able to see, and you are the expansions in every way. So Lord Shiva is teaching by this prayer to Prachetas that how one should see the Supreme Lord's presence everywhere. How one should meditate on the Supreme Lord. So by that process only we will be purified and we'll come to the position where we can realize that Supreme Lord is everywhere. So the process and means is, as we say that bhakti, we have the process and means is same. We exercise this aspect of like Gita 10th chapter, Arjuna asked, Keshu cha bhaveshu chintosi bhagavan maya. So when we try to engage that kind of principles, Vibhuti is mentioned in Krishna, mentioned by Krishna, that he is there everywhere. So by trying to exercise that kind of process, we will understand and realize that Krishna is everywhere. The pure devotee always sees, what is that verse? Stavar Jangama Deki Na Deki Tara Murti Sarvatra Vaye Ishtadeva Spurti. Sarvatra hoya ishtadeva spurti. So he doesn't see what is moving, what is not moving. Ishtadeva spurti, he is only seeing his own beloved form, beloved Lord's form. So that is the main point that here Lord Shiva is teaching. So, so we desire to realize you with your form as Bhagavan. So that is our prayer. But all these other things are also manifested in different ways. Many forms you manifest, dear Lord. You unchanging, though many forms, have created this universe, maintain it, destroy it repeatedly using Maya. Which cannot bewilder you. Maya cannot bewilder, but we want to desire. So we want to desire your form that was expressed in 61. So 62 we read now that some karma yogis and ashtanga yogis worship the first Purusha, the Antaryami of all beings. So that Kovitas who meditate on Antaryami, that is expressed in this verse. By various actions, yogis expert in Vedas and Pancharatra, filled with faith and aiming for perfection, worship the Lord who has a form with the body, with his body, senses and Antakarana under his control. So they always meditate on the Antaryami. So this is the Brahman aspect is also glorified in the previous verse, the Brahman aspect. And the Paramatma aspect is mentioned in the 62 verse. But our desire, so Lord Shiva is always coming to the point that though you have various forms, various manifestations, but I want only the Bhagavan feature, I want to correlate with, I want to serve and please, etc., is mentioning. So that is the connection of the verses with this and the previous verses, what Lord Shiva is saying. So though I am able to see that you are only expanding everywhere, and these are all different objects of meditation for different personalities, but I want only the personal feature, Bhagavan feature. So that is the essence means the connections I am saying, just to summarizing. Yes. Read the Prabhupada's purport, few lines in the previous verse.
In the previous verse, Lord Shiva wanted to see the form of Lord, which the devotees are always interested in. There are other forms of the Lord manifest in the material world, including Brahma and other demigods, and these are the worshipped by the materialistic person. In the second.
So here, as clearly mentioned, Lord Shiva Prabhupada is mentioning that Lord Shiva wanted to see the form of the Lord. And I'm not very interested in other forms you manifest, though you manifest in various forms, and actually you are only there everywhere. But I'm not very much interested in those things. So that is mainly mentioned here. What other personalities aspire for, what in other forms Krishna manifests, and who are all aspiring for those forms. Prabhupada mentions. About Kovida is very significant, for it indicates the devotees of the Lord. Kovida indicates devotees of the Lord. Only the devotees know perfectly that Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is all pervading. So he is all pervading. He is able to see his only beloved Lord everywhere. So like that, one devotee, especially pure devotee, aspires seeing the form, having the supreme form as his beloved object, not any other forms. Though he is manifesting in different ways, different energies manifesting, but devotee is aspiring only supreme form. The conclusion? Read.
The conclusion is that the Lord is one and that he expanded in everything. This is understood by the Vedic version, Sarvam Khalao Idam Brahma. One who knows this concentrates all his energy in worshipping Lord Vishnu.
So till now we have seen how he is manifesting as a Brahman, as manifesting Antaryami, right now. Antaryami, those Antaryami in the sense that the Paramatma who yogis try to realize. So that Antaryami, Paramatma is established in these next two verses. how he manifests himself. The first verse, as Amshi Mahavishnu, and the second verse, we are part and parcel. We are also his part and parcel for Supreme Lord. That's why Amsha aspect is also mentioned. How the living entities. How, my dear Lord, you only come in the form of living entities in the world, manifesting in the world. So these are the main aspect of these two verses. Please read the translation.
Yes, my dear Lord, you are the only Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. Before the creation of this material world, your material energy remains in a dormant condition. When your material energy is agitated, the three qualities, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance, act, and as the result, the total material energy, egotism, ether, air, fire, water, earth, and all the various demigods and saintly persons become manifest. Thus, the material world is created.
So, how the material world is created? The Supreme Person as Mahavishnu, how he glances, how he agitates the material energy by his glance. You heard in detail third canto. I don't know whether you remember, but he underwent that kind of a very, very different experience of Bhagavatam. Tough. What is it? At least intellectually, it's quite tough to comprehend. Mahatattva, Pradhan, agitating the modes and the manifesting all these material elements. This is all done by Mahavishnu. You read whatever purification. So that is the aspect of Mahavishnu. Prabhupada raises the word Kovita. Last verse, Kovita was used to the great personalities, how they understand, how they realize you, how even why they say that why do learned expert scholars distinguish between matter and spirit? If you are only the person who is manifesting in the various ways, Prabhupada answers that one in the sense that you are only one person. We may see differences from our side, but you are the only person who is manifesting in that way. Read questions and answer if Prabhupada's purport.
In the answer to the question,
Here. If the whole creation.
if the whole creation is one, that is nothing but the Supreme Lord or Vishnu, then why do the expert transcendentalists make such categories as are found in the above verse? Why do learned and expert scholars distinguish between matter and spirit? In the answer to these questions, Lord Shiva says that the spirit and matter are not creations of various philosophers, but the manifested by the Lord Vishnu, as describes in the verse Tattvam Eka Adya Purusham. Spiritual and material energies.
Yeah, thank you. So here basically the point is that all the energies made possible by Supreme Lord. The same point that for him there is no distinctions, and also those who are liberated, those who can see the Lord behind the curtain. So for them also there is no any differences, but those who are conditioned, they will only see differences. So why they see differences? Because they have enjoying mentality. They come here, they want to distinguish, they want to enjoy separate from the Lord. Then Prabhupada gives example that it is only for them, the living entities, for them means for the living entities who want to enjoy separate from the Lord or imitate the Supreme Lord in his like his enjoyment. For that Lord created this world by his dormant energy, which appears to be different from Supreme Lord for many living entities who want to enjoy. So he gives example for that, how the living entities want to enjoy separate from the Lord. He gives example of children, we might have heard many times, how they want to cook, just like imitating mother. But mother supplies some toys to play, imitating cooking. But similarly, we are also trying to enjoy in this world, but it's not possible at all to enjoy. We have to begin. go back to the Supreme Lord. So that is one point Prabhupada mentions about different energies, how he's manifesting, how we are trying to enjoy separately from the Lord, seeing the energies in different ways, wanting to enjoy, exploit the different energies of the Lord. But he is a source. So Tvam Eka Adya Purusha. But he is the source for all the energies. Those who are advanced, they can see how he is the only source for all the energies. That's what Prabhupada explains, quoting various authorities. It is only Supreme Lord is manifesting. He is the only person. What is that verse? Yeah. Ego Narayana Asit. So he is only alone. From him only everything manifests. Many verses Prabhupada could say, Ahame Vasame Vagre. I am only there before. So that then now how Supreme Lord manifest in the form of living entities, he expresses here. We will try to maybe one or two verses
Hare Krishna,
we'll start.
other devotee can read now. I'll read so
Yeah,
much.
I think we'll pause maybe around 4:45. Maybe five minutes I'll take so that this section we'll try to complete.
I'll read too.
So now the aspect of the Mahavishnu is explained in the previous verse. Now how Supreme Lord enters in this world, Srishtam, the creation, in the form of living entities. Anupravishta entering afterward in the form of living entities, how he is entering. That is mentioned in this verse. Yeah, please read.
My dear Lord, after creating by your own potencies, you enter within the creation in four kinds of form. Being within the hearts of the living entities, you know them and know how they are enjoying their senses. The so-called happiness of this material creation is exactly like the bee's enjoyment of honey after it has been collected in the honeycomb.
So the entering, my dear Lord, after creating by your potencies, you enter within creation in four kinds of form. So Lord Shiva is seeing Krishna only entering into the universe in four kinds of forms. So what are the four kinds of forms? Four kinds of living entities. How they take bodies, four kinds of living entities. Andaja, Svetaja, Udbhuja, Jarayuja. So these are four forms. He only entering means he is expansion, like he is Amsha. Amshi Mahavishnu is explained in the previous verse. Amshas, the Jivas. In the form of Jiva, Supreme Lord is not entering in this world. So this is experienced by Lord Shiva. Basically, he is seeing everything from the Lord's point of view. That we need to understand. And that's how also he is encouraging all of us sadhakas to see everything in connection with the Supreme Lord. Please read the highlight portion.
The material cosmic manifestation in an exhibition, the external energy of the Supreme Person Godhead. But because dull matter cannot work independently, the Lord Himself enters within this material creation in the form of partial expansion, Paramatma, and He enters also by His separated parts and partials, the living entities. In other words, both the living entities and the Supreme Person of Godhead enter into material creation just to make it active.
So he enters also by his separated part and parcels. So he has to enter. So that Prabhupada explains Chaturvidam, how he enters Jarayuja, Andaja, Udbija. So in that form he enters in this world and maintaining this world and trying to, of course, Lord is there with all the living entities. But living entities are coming here to enjoy. So just like honeybee is trying to enjoy the honey, so the Prabhupada gives example. The sloka itself gives example. The honeybee is basically trying to enjoy the honey. Similarly, one meaning is that the living entities are trying to enjoy their senses. So Prabhupada also goes ahead to explain this analogy in a very appropriate manner what we are experiencing here. Please read this para.
Remaining within the hearts of all living entities, the Thus, the living entities create their enjoyable honeycombs and then enjoy them. The example of bees is appropriate because when bees try to enjoy the honeycomb, they have to suffer the bites of other bees. Because bees bite one another when they enjoy honey, they are not exclusively enjoying the sweetness of the honey, but there is also suffering. In other words, the living entities are subjected to the pains and pleasures of the material enjoyment, whereas Supreme Personal Godhead, knowing their plans of sense enjoyment, is aloof from them.
Basically, Supreme Lord is different, though he is also entering with us in the universe, but the living entity is only enjoying and suffering. Right? They wanted to enjoy, but it's only suffering. He gives a very beautiful theological application. Read this one.
Human society is exactly like a beehive, for everyone is engaged in collecting honey from various flowers or collecting money from various sources and creating large empires from common income. However, after these empires are created, the bites of other nations have to be suffered. Sometimes nations declare war against one another, and the human beehives becomes sources of misery. All the human beings are created have, although human beings are creating their beehives in order to enjoy the sweetness of their senses, they are at the same time suffering from the bites of other persons or nations. The Supreme Personal Godhead as Paramatma is simply witnessing all these activities.
Yeah, so that's a expanded analogy of a beehive. How we are creating our own sources of enjoyment in terms of compared to beehives, either homes or societies or empires. But these are always there is inability. No one can enjoy any kind of happiness without inability in material world. So one should be only pure enjoyment is possible under protection of Supreme Lord. So we need to take shelter of Supreme Lord. He is always aloof. So then aspect of time is described, how Lord enters in this universe in the form of time and how we are suffering in the. Please read the translation.
My dear Lord, your absolute authority cannot be directly experienced, but one can guess by seeing the activities of the world that everything is being destroyed in due course of time. The force of time is very strong, and everything has been destroyed by something else, just as one animal is being eaten by another animal. Time scatters everything, exactly as the wind scatters cloud in the sky. Time is described in two verses.
This time is described into these two verses, this verse and next verse. The Lord, through time, instills fear by His mercy. So, to make jivas favorable to Him, since He is the destroyer of all suffering and giver of all happiness. So, this is a more explanation from the Acharyas that how Lord is coming in the form of time. The devotee can see He is time personified, follows me. So, actually, time. But one should to make jivas favorable to Him. But Lord's purpose is not to just destruction with the time element. Lord's purpose is to remind us, warn us, wake us up to the reality. So that's what the main point here. So he is scattering, example is given, scatters and all. His time is very strong and everything is destroyed. All these things are mentioned. Prabhupada also explains many points how people are trying to go against time and establish their empires. But even Hiranyakashipu wanted to conquer our time and establish his own empire, wanted to conquer death, but he could not happen. So, although we do not see the hand of Supreme Lord directly, we can feel the presence of that hand through the Lord's process of destruction. So, we can see the clouds scattered by wind, although we cannot see how this is being done because it is not possible to see the wind. So, wind scatters the clouds, right? So, we cannot see the wind. We can see only clouds are scattered. So, similarly, although we do not directly see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we can see that He controls the process of destruction. The destruction process is going on fiercely under the control of the Lord, but atheist cannot see it. So, but devotee should be able to see, and devotee should see. That's the main point. So, various aspects we are seeing. I'm just giving overview that how he spoke about Bhagavan and Brahman and the universal form and as a Paramatma and as a Jivas he entered in this world, and he has entered in the time factor also in this world to make us living entities, to practice bhakti. Please try to read. There's also time.
My dear Lord, all living entities within this world are mad after planning for things, and they're always busy with the desire to do this or that. This is due to uncontrollable greed. The greed for material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity, but for your Lordship is always alert, and in due course of time you strike him, just as a snake seizes mouse and very easily swallows him.
Various examples are given to Shiva. Shiva is giving example, or Shiva is giving example in his prayers to understand, to make us understand. He gave example of honeybee. We want to enjoy here. And he gave example of wind and clouds. We are scattered by time, here and there shattered. And here again example of snake. We are swallowed without sharp notice. Without any notice, we are gone. Just like mouse is not seen only. So sometimes when cloud is shattered by wind, we can see some pieces of cloud here and there. But when a snake swallows mouse or frog, there is no existence of anything. So like that we will be consumed. Just like we don't see anything, a previous construct. Of course, some remnants may be there sometimes, but civilizations we don't see only. Hardly we can see any civilizations. So that's how everything will be swallowed up. So whatever we are trying to build up by our controllable greed, trying to build up everything, but we need to take indications. The laws of nature are very cruel, and we will be swallowed up. So without God consciousness, without lack of Krishna consciousness, everything is will be gulped by the snake of time. So we need to be careful. So that's what Prabhupada is giving a solution here. What is the solution? Please read.
The solution. If one wants peace of mind and tranquility in society, he must accept the fact that the real enjoyed Supreme Person Godhead. The Lord is the proprietor of everything all over the universe, and He is the supreme friend of all living entities as well. By understanding this, people can become happy and peacefully, individually and collectively.
Yeah. So that's the aspect that he is a real enjoyer. I'm just his supporting. I'm his servant. So that's how the Prabhupada is bringing out the solutions. He's giving not only the problem, explaining the problems, but always gives the solutions also on how we can overcome all these sufferings. So till this point, Lord Shiva glorified the path of bhakti and also giving warnings how we'll be devoured by time, I'll be suffering. And then finally concludes 67 and 68 are like a summaries. So my dear living entities, please take up bhakti is the final goal. So maybe I think we'll start tomorrow session with this 67. I think from hardly 10 to 12 verses. Maybe an hour we'll take. So we'll conclude with that aspect of how Lord Shiva is saying bhakti is the essence. So please try to take up bhakti. And then he gives falashruti. What will happen by hearing this song? The falashruti we will try to conclude tomorrow. Thank you very much for your enthusiastic participation. Chandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Keshav
Krishna.
Mahaprabhu,
Thank you.
for your
Thank
very
you,
profound knowledge and wisdom.
Hare
Hare Krishna, thank you.
And Srila Prabhupada ki jai.